Hello, hello, hello. I can see our guests are here as well. Fantastic. Good evening, Mr. Dion Croom.
How are
Good
you?
evening,
Good evening. How are
Miss
you?
Omolara. How's everything?
Is everything fantastic?
Fantastic, fantastic. It's nice to see you finally.
There is a real person behind the video.
Yes, yes, yes. Mr.
Uh,
Omolara, how are you? Oh, I can see you as well. Fantastic. How are you? How's everything? Hope everybody's doing great. I'm sure people will be coming in as we go on. We'll just continue talking, and after this as well, we'll also share this video and stuff on YouTube so that other people can also go on and learn.
okay.
Okay, so I'm not going to assume that everyone here knows me, even though I shared it on our platform. So I'm just going to introduce myself. My name is Durosinmi-Etti. I'm the founder of AGS Tribe. AGS Tribe is a platform that connects women to each other and to opportunities. So most people on this call, I'm sure, will be women because everybody automatically believes that everything I do is for women. But we also have men on the platform, and this program was also shared for everyone to join in. So I'm sure some men also signed up to join. So we're going to I'll just ask both of you to also introduce yourselves before we, delve into the, what we're talking about today. So Mr. Omolara, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Omolara Svensson, and I'm the MD CEO of OK Group. OK Group it's a Nigerian company, but it also has its sister companies outside Nigeria, in other parts of Africa and in Europe. We're also on the Isle of Man, which is what brings our relationship about with National Health Monitoring Services. OK Group deals with three major industries, and that's agro-allied, innovation and technology, media and production. And I am an advocate for women and children, especially our girl child well-being, welfare, and equal rights, equal pay for women, and all of that. Women empowerment in general.
Fantastic. So we're sisters. We're sisters in the women empowerment world.
That's what we have in common. I'm sure John is going to be going, oh yeah, oh, I understand why we're here now.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Dion, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do and, a little bit about yourself?
Wow. I mean, I probably can go on for days, but the reality is my name is Dion Croom. I'm the founder and CEO of quite a number of companies, actually, but I sit inside of the social empowerment space. I've been in this space for 45 years without giving my age away too much.
Wow.
But I'm a societal entrepreneur. So my companies basically deal in equalization of digital divides, economic inequalities. That's the type of platforms I build. So I am CEO of Creative 3D Web, which is my main public company on the Isle of Man. And it's all about using creative tools to empower people. That's what originally started. I was chairman of a community development project back in the early 1994s with Nelson Mandela, and also the then Prime Minister Tony Blair. My remit was to build 360 community learning centers in disadvantaged communities in the UK. So across a 10-year span, we put close to 4,600 people from off the streets as Cisco engineers and Microsoft engineers. So I'm all about empowerment. So what brings me to this space is technology to solve a lot of societal problems. And so my other company is Technology and Healthcare, which is what brings me here. So we have two products in that space. One of those is the health monitoring platform, which was basically brought about to deal with a lot of key issues around the world. And our other one is Habat. It's called Habat, which is an addiction treatment platform that is used on the web. So in short, that's
That's the summary. Fantastic, fantastic. I love to hear about things like this because when you're passionate about empowerment, you just continue, it just continues coming and coming. You just continue looking for solutions, and you continue. You've been in this space, like you said, for 45 years. So that's really, really incredible. Thank you so much for all the work you've been doing all the years. Okay, so what we're talking about today is coronavirus. We all know how this thing has come on and has scared all of us. And it's been so crazy because I also had the virus. So I had it in June and it was the craziest month of my life. Like I didn't even think that it would have happened to me because I had brought on like a doctor who works in the anti-respiratory unit in one of the NHS hospitals in London. So he had come to like our community like this, and he had explained some of the symptoms and all that. So in my mind, I was like, I'm covered. I knew all the things to do, wash your hands with sanitizer, social distancing, all these things. So in my mind, I was like, this thing that's happened to me cannot be coronavirus, when I started feeling the symptoms, So I was like, God, what is happening? The pain was a lot, but I didn't even know what to do. I went to hospital. They actually admitted me in hospital, treating me for something else, not knowing that it was the virus. So I didn't even find out until like 7 days into the illness, into feeling so bad, and eventually it took me about 27 days to be, like 100% better, like without feeling weak and everything. But it's funny how it gets to people who you feel are really, really careful, and they've done everything within their power. So I love what we're doing with this platform, what you're doing with this platform. This team, anyway, we'll talk about the platform in more detail because it's almost as if this virus, we cannot avoid it. So we need to think about how we can try to prevent it, but what do you do how can you manage it if you start having the symptoms and everything? What are things that you can do? And I'm excited about platforms like this because a lot of people don't even know what symptoms to check. They don't believe some of the things that they're seeing online. But if somebody prompts you or something prompts you like an artificial intelligence software tells you, okay, go to the hospital now. I wish I had something like that because it didn't even click to me that I actually could have had the virus. Day one, I was weak, I was tired, I had like body pains all over my body, like they were hitting me with like a hammer from inside, and it didn't even click. I was begging them in hospital. I was like, please just give me something to sleep. I was begging them, give me a painkiller. So they gave me all kinds of painkillers from cocodamol to diclofenac to ibuprofen, paracetamol. Nothing worked. Like I was running on the road, like on the hospital corridor because I was just like looking for, when they say when something is paining, they want to pain it back. I was trying to pain it, but it wasn't working. But I wish this software was there then and just told me, just go and do a test for the virus, because it honestly did not occur to me, even though I was very aware. And I'm one of the few people who are actually aware of the virus. The masses are not even aware of this. They're not even aware. Like they know that, okay, there's one coronavirus. Some of them don't believe it. Some people have it and they're just like, I'm not going to do the test. It cannot be it. It's just malaria. Things like that. Like people are really, really in doubt. But if something actually prompts you, to say, just do a test. So on the 7th day, someone just said, just do a test. And I was like, okay, let me just do this test. And I did it and it was positive. So I can definitely see the relevance of all the things that we're going to talk about today. So before we go further, I'm going to ask Omolara some questions. So tell us some of the symptoms, like from that point of view, like from the health sector point of view. What are some of the symptoms that have been recognized by the people in the health sector authorities? What are some of the what are some of the symptoms that we should look at when we're talking about coronavirus?
Well, the thing with coronavirus is viruses is a large family. Like we all know, there has been coronavirus before COVID-19. This is just a new strain of it. So, and so far, scientists had come up with, it comes with all sorts of illness, like you have witnessed or like you have experienced yourself and you've just shared with all of us. But I think the most dangerous and difficult ones is what they have used in describing it, which is the Middle East respiratory syndrome and the acute respiratory syndromes. And this, of course, leads to a lot of, the virus could lead to a lot of other sicknesses, but these are like the major ones. Because if you see even this, when they refer to COVID-19, they have the SARS COVID-2, and so for me, these are like the most dangerous illness that you get from the virus, because it has to do with your respiratory system, and that we all know what that means. For some people, like you said, it varies. Like on the app, which actually helped me a lot, I was able to learn all the symptoms that one could be having. It could be as basic as you're feeling like you have a cold.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people, it could be like they're having a flu, though we don't have flu in Nigeria, but I mean, the symptoms of cold is very similar to that of a flu. So if you're not careful, or if you don't get tested, or if you're not on the platform that could tell you, hey, you've gone from green to yellow, yellow to orange, orange to danger, you could be treating it for a cold or even a malaria.
Yep.
Because the symptoms are very similar: body pains, high fever, sore throat, sometimes cough.
That sore throat was the worst. Oh my
I
God!
can imagine. Great. I'm really glad you're well and we're here discussing this. So these are what the symptoms of COVID-19 is. So it varies from individual to individual, and of course, with people that has pre-existing condition as well. So basically, it's the respiratory aspect of it that really scares me personally. But the illnesses are very similar to that of a cold or flu.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So what exactly is contact tracing? Because when I had it, for example, I called the hospital back to let them know, okay, I've gotten my result now and it's actually positive. But I didn't really get any feedback from them in terms of, oh, maybe they're shutting down their hospital, because that was what was actually happening, at the beginning of coronavirus. So I didn't really get that, sense of, what's it, like, urgency, like, okay, maybe they were going to like start tracing people I had been in contact with. I was with my mom and I slept on the same bed. I was so scared. Yeah, I was so scared, but she didn't get it. And even my husband didn't get it as well. But it was very scary, because the hospital, I don't know if anyone got it, because you wouldn't have probably heard outside. So what exactly is contact tracing, and how can contact tracing even help reduce the spread of coronavirus, especially because now the lockdown has been eased up. Now the lockdown, starts at 12 midnight and, opens again. The roads open again at 4 a.m. So everybody is like, literally outside is open. so what does contact tracing mean, and how can it help to minimize the spread of coronavirus?
I'm going to start from this point that right now I'm very afraid for us. I'm in Nigeria at the moment, and I really am afraid for all of us. Because of people's attitude with the lockdown that's been eased. Because I'm not just afraid because the virus is still out there, but I'm afraid because there is no way with the system we have in place that contact tracing can be done properly should we have a second wave. Now, so to answer your question, contact tracing is basically a way of tracking and tracing people that has been exposed to someone who has tested positive to COVID-19. While we had the lockdown in March, April, and I think some part of May on the Isle of Man, I was working all through the lockdown. I was doing charity work, helping people with their groceries and dropping it off at their porch and all of that. And the first time I got a call, it was even before the main strict lockdown. And I got a call, oh, is that so person? We're from the COVID-19 track and trace. I froze. I practically died a little. And believe me, but if I look back now, that is what actually helped us on the Isle of Man, because I got that call 4 times during lockdown that, oh, someone has COVID, and they said they were at your shop, they said they were at your office, they said you were with them at some point, or they've been to where I also have been to. So we all get this call and they go, oh, if you ever feel this, do that. And that really helped the Isle of Man to really contain the virus to the stage that it is today. So that's what contact tracing basically is. And why I say again that I'm scared is because the only way to deal with COVID-19 until whenever the vaccine comes out is to contain it, because we actually don't have the cure for it. So once it is contained, then you know that, oh, this is where it is, and then we can deal with the situation. So contact tracing is just, Ife tested positive to COVID. Where has Ife been in the past 14 days? Who has Ife spoken to? Who has Ife had contact with? And then it goes on like it's a chain. So each of these persons or people would also have to say, oh, I've met with this person, I've been to ShopRite at so time, I've been to the bank and what bank it is. So contact tracing is actually a very huge part of containing COVID-19.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And I'll come back to ask you some more questions, but now I'm going to ask Mr. Dion Croom some questions. I want you to really talk to us about this platform that you have built, that you feel like one of the solutions that can actually help manage COVID-19. So please talk to us about the platform.
This is a difficult one for me. I sit inside of a space and knowledge about a wide range of subject matter on this, from the conspiracy theory down to a lot of things. So I have a saying: information is power. Absolute information is complete control. And the thing is, we are all subjected to a lot of misleading information. We have conspiracy theory around government. We have conspiracy theory around business. There are a lot of things. The world was not prepared for this. So let me make that clear. This is not something that you can sit down and say, oh, this was engineered, or whether this was designed to control or to cull Black people. There's tons of it. But the one thing we have to do is educate our minds to this real fact. This is a virus. That is clear. It's the fear is of mutation and other potential. We are responsible for our own health. So I need to put that out there. But we also need the information. What happened that brought me to the space of authorizing looking into this is all of the misinformation that is awash over the internet. And if you spend too much time inside of that, you'll go crazy. You'll go crazy in fear. The one fundamental aspect of the app is, if you are looking to understand the virus, you have to go back to pure basics. The one thing that we've noted here in the Isle of Man that was not being done was, how do you monitor the individual? You have to go to basics. By monitoring the individual, which is part of a community, in real time, you are able to see shifts in your health on a day-by-day basis. That is by far the best way of first understanding where you are in the cycle, and also when there is an incremental change in your health. That's the principle behind the health monitor. That's number one. If you can capture that data, and also it's about the information that's being brought to you. You have to trust the source. And like I said, I'm not here to feed conspiracy theories. I'm not here to feed misconceptions one may have of a particular government or how they're doing things. That is not the purpose. One of my company is not the purpose of the product itself. We're here to give you a tool to help manage your day-to-day life inside of establishing a new normal. Because let's not get it twisted. We are in a situation now where a new normal is having to be established. The old way of doing things is dead. We have to find a new way to survive. And whether this virus was engineered whether this virus was natural. We don't know. But what we do have control is our relationship to it. So the health monitoring service in itself was built as a platform. If you had seen my speech at the launch, that's why I chose that subject matter. It takes platform thinking. It takes technology to fight technology. Technology also means in communication. How do you get information, the proper information to you when you need it, not 10 days from now, not 5 days from now, literally 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or instantaneous. That's what the technology in the app does. So fundamentally, it monitors your basic health pattern. We use technology and AI. Once it learns your pattern of health, once it's decided that in what we call the decision tree, and it only takes about 3 days to train it on you. So it's now looking at what is my baseline. If I established, for instance, after taking it the first day in the morning and in the evening, the AI is establishing what's normal for you, and then gives that a classification. And then it says in your community. Now remember, the community can be Lagos, the community can be your office, the community can be your house. So it doesn't matter, the community can be the whole country. What it does is then gives, because if other people in your house, in your community is taking the same monitoring, it's establishing what is the norm in that community. Once it's established that's norm, then if, for instance, if my status after taking the test, and it's only about a minute, minute and a half, it's not going to take a lot out your life. But in that minute and a half, it'll tell me that my level based on the symptoms. And remember, this is a combination of symptoms. It's not one symptom, as you mentioned when you spoke. The symptoms of COVID are defined by the CDC in various countries. The AI is looking for a pattern of, okay, does cough mixed with chest pain, mixed with nausea equal COVID? That's what it's asking all the time, because having the flu can mean cough, chest pain, but something else. So the AI is deciding for you, is what you have COVID or is what you have a cold? That's information that's important for how you will deal with your health, or even what medications you're going to take, if you know that. So the AI is looking for a combination of symptoms to then decide your severity. That's really critical, because we're never going to, COVID-19 isn't going away. That's the cold reality. It's not going away. It's only our relationship to COVID-19 that is going to affect us health-wise, economically, socially. Because to me, COVID-19 is an attack on all of those things. You have COVID-19 has us afraid to pick up our baby because we think we're going to pass it. COVID-19 has us doing such crazy things, is telling on each other when we don't even know what we're talking about. That's what COVID-19 is doing. So it's more than just talking about the virus. We have to control the narrative. The tool, what we've created is a tool to help us control the narrative in our life. And then one last thing, because I don't want to go too long, but the other key element of this that's really critical for us, me, Omolara, to get across. We are adamant that we must be in control of our data. I must define who sees my data. I must be part of the narrative. You can't just say to me, you must do that, without making me part of the narrative. So because the feature and the security feature inside of the app, because I was asked to speak specifically about these things, is you got to understand the reason that we use the identification protocol in there is so that we know that we are talking to for instance, I know that when Omolara is on the app, I know it's Omolara. So that if she needs support, all of those support mechanisms that we will connect to via the service will also know they're speaking with Omolara Svensson and not Omolara someone else. That's critical. In trusting the data, we are responsible for the data that we give to help to deal with this. So that's one of the key points. And also, don't forget that the monitoring service in itself is not just about COVID-19, because there are also some other pre-existing conditions that may affect that too. It's not just singleized. What the health monitoring service does as a platform is allows us to learn. And as we learn on the data, there may be other modules that need to be added to your personal health monitoring to also help monitor something else that's going on. Who's to say that we've monitored 100,000 people and found out that it's not only these symptoms of COVID-19, but it might be something else. It might be another disease slipping in the system. It might be, who knows? The health monitoring service, if you're doing it daily, will help to catch those shifts. So that is why it's about the platform, and it's then modulated. So those are the things that I want to kind of say about that without stealing the show.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. So what really inspired you to actually, create this platform?
I get asked, I've traveled around the world. I've been in a lot of situations. I mean, I was speaking with Omolara. I was in Nigeria doing Babangida days. I sort of had a love affair with it. Well, a kind of love-hate, because I was in Nigeria 6 times in my lifetime, and I was robbed at gunpoint 5 of those 6 times.
Wow.
And I'm here to continue on. And I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm from the street. So I kind of knew how to handle that situation. However, I had a love affair with it. So I get asked a lot, why you? In this world of, you got government and their sources and resources, you got big businessmen with their resources and so forth. Why you, Dion? And my answer to that question is why not? One, because I have access to technology. I have access to very smart people around me, and I can. When we built this, it was in lockdown, and I got a very strong development team. And when lockdown came, many businesses, when you're forced to stay in lockdown, you think, oh God, how am I going to keep my business running? How am I going to keep my team motivated? How am I going to keep my developers? So you have to think outside of the box. It's very important to think outside of the box in these times. So I came to the conclusion, what can we do as a company on the Isle of Man to deal with this in the way we see it? Not what we are told, not what we're given a script of what we should do. And that's what happened. I put my team to it, and we took it back down to basics, as I explained. And it took us 5 months to develop the technology. Wow. And because I've got connections around the world, I turned around and said, okay, this now is ready. It's been tested. The technology is sound, and it'll stand up to any scrutiny, whether it's security scrutiny or the science, it'll stand up. And to be honest, Omolara said it, because of my past experience and the extreme pleasure of meeting Nelson Mandela, and then going to see some of his projects in my early life, I just thought to myself, I met Omolara. Omolara didn't know who I was. We became friends over teaching me how to make a goosey soup. What's that?
Soup.
Oh, that's it. And that's why I'm here. To be honest, I'm here talking to you because of a goosey soup. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. And as we got to know each other, she then told me what she does. She told me about some of her mission, and it resonated with me, and that's why I'm now talking to you. So this is definitely a grassroots movement. I'm not here because of any other reason other than I can.
Wow, that's very fantastic. That's really inspiring as well. It just shows you how people can just meet and connect on different values and beliefs, and something as big as this can actually be built by just meeting people and just connecting with people randomly. So relationship building is something that I always talk about. You never know where the relationship will get to. You never know if
Right.
you become president and then you're like, oh, you're a trusted person. I've known you for like 10 years. I know what you're passionate about. I know what you can do. I know your strengths and stuff like that. And then before you know it, you're in the circle. Or she can become president and she says, oh, okay, I know Dion Croom, who is really passionate about empowering people through technology and AI. I think we need somebody like you to come and consult with us, things like that. So relationship building is even another topic on its own. But
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm excited to learn how both of you even came together and have collaborated, to bring out this wonderful, amazing product. So I'm going to go back to Omolara now. Why is this platform important? Like, what gingered you to say, I would like to partner with you and bring this thing to life in Nigeria? Why is it important?
Thank you for that question. First of all, I just love this country, regardless against all odds and whatever it is. I love Nigeria. And as a Nigerian who is well-traveled, I always feel like we can do better. And I work at every point that I can to impact in my own little way to the progress of the nation and the people itself. So when Dion and I met, or shall I say when Dion's company and my company met and we started doing business together, and this came up, the pandemic and the whole platform thing, the first thing I said to him, I said is, look, this is more than just a project for me. It's personal because, I mean, most of us on this platform would have had the opportunity to travel to other places. And it breaks my heart when we get spoken to, like the kind of people that doesn't even know, that can't take care of themselves, basically. So with the pandemic and all the noise we're hearing, like all sorts of conspiracy theory and all of that, I was already panicking for Nigeria as a nation. So when this opportunity came, I saw it as a way that, okay, that's it. This is when I step in as a Nigerian and bring this to my people, and I just said to John that whatever we do, it has to be Nigeria first, in as much as the scope is to be everywhere in the world and everywhere in Africa. So that's the first reason behind all of this. The second reason behind it was, I mean, I've used the application myself. I've seen how accurate it is. I mean, when I got into Nigeria and I was going to go on my application, it locked me out. So then I called, I was like, Dion, I got locked out of my own application. He goes, well, you've changed region. You now have to log on to the HMSN Nigeria because now you're in Nigeria. This is how accurate the platform is. And also when I got in during the lockdown, and maybe because of the stress of the journey and all of that, and I had fever, I had body pains and all, I went from this, Dion is just hearing, I went from green to yellow. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And, the next day, my temperature went down and the body pain disappeared. Apparently it was the stress from traveling. And I went from amber back to green. And I said to myself, I'm not sharing this with anyone. Yeah, but well, it's out there now. But yeah, these are my reasons. One, because as a Nigerian, as someone who just loves this country, I see that this is a good platform. This is something that we need. And of course, I decided to partner. My company decided to partner with that of Dion. And also it's a platform that I am on and I use, and I know that it is good. It is accurate. I don't want to start talking about it. Dion has done most of it. And one amazing thing about the application is the fact that it is flexible. So it can attend to your individual health monitoring services. All you need to do is to say, okay, look, you guys, I don't want to be monitoring my status for COVID-19. I like to have what we call add-ons. and that can be done as well. So it's a fantastic application, and these are the 2 or 3 major reasons that made OK Group to say yes, we want to partner with you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I love that, you've used it and you even understand, how it works. So if other people like
It gives,
me,
sorry, Jay. I was with one of our influencers, when we did the launching, and she goes, when I showed her after the launch and I showed her how the application works, she goes, no wonder you're never bothered, because she's like really, really paranoid about this COVID thing. She wears a face mask and the face shield, and she goes spraying sanitizers everywhere she goes, So, so when I got her on the application and I showed her how it works, she said, now I know why you are not bothered. It gives you peace of mind. Because by the time you're going on amber and you're going on orange, you already know that, okay, something is wrong,
Yeah.
So, and you don't have to just I know people that gets themselves tested every week. You don't have to do all of that, so it gives complete peace of mind.
That's actually true. I actually know someone who had died, because when I had it, I put up a video of my own experience and everything on social media. So a lot of people started contacting me, just to ask me different questions. So her dad was in Abuja, and he was ill. All the kids are in Lagos. He lives alone. He started getting ill. He didn't think it was COVID. He was just at home, at home. So I can imagine if he had the app, he would have understood that, okay, this thing, you're getting closer and closer to the end, because this thing is COVID. But he didn't think it was COVID, and then all of a sudden one night he couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So he started sending his kids his account number, his PIN number, everything, like, oh, tonight is the night I'm going down. That kind of thing. So kids started sending me messages, what can they do? I'm like, I don't know anybody in Abuja, and nobody wants to go and meet him because obviously he had COVID, so nobody can go and meet him. So it was really, really crazy. Thank God he didn't die. Thank God he was able to, I think he eventually did a test and the test result came out. So the isolation, the day he almost died, or the day he couldn't breathe, that was the day that his results came out. So they came to actually take him to an isolation center. So I can imagine if he didn't have that. If let's say he didn't even do the test, or his result didn't come out in time. I know somebody who died, somebody actually close to me who died, and her result, we didn't know it was COVID. I was telling the people around me that I'm sure it was COVID, but we didn't know it was COVID. And when she died, her results came out it came out late. So it came out maybe a week after she died, and it was COVID.
Right. I think something is important. Let me kind of, this is going to touch on your question about contact tracing and various things. Let me quickly state, I am an avid believer of the fact that I should be in control of my data. With that being said, let me tell you how this app should work. So this should be the narrative, and I'm going to use Omolara as a friend or family member. So both Omolara and myself have been using the app for a week. So let me tell you what our conversation will be on Sunday when I call her. How you doing, girl? She said, how you doing? I say, hey, before we even talk, what's your status? He will say, oh, I'm 2. And I say, oh, I'm 2. Let's talk. The point is, if I am green, severity level 2, and Omolara in her house is green, level 2, in severity 2, that means that I am relatively safe to meet up with Omolara because we're both in the same grouping. So I don't have to worry about, because she's 2 and I'm 2. She's green and I'm green. So you take it into a wider context, and you have a group of friends and you're talking to each other, and you go, hey girl, what are you? And then if it's like a group of 5 or 10, if you're all both in the green group and severity 2, then it is relatively safe that you can commune with each other. But one step further, if I am in Lagos and Omolara is in Abuja, imagine if we set up monitoring, and I didn't say that right, so forgive me, I'm American. So if I wanted to travel to meet her, here is how the app can also be used. because I assign the reading of my data to the Lagos Monitoring Center. When I want to go to Abuja and see her, I will go into my dashboard and give permission to the Abuja Monitoring Center to let them know that I am coming there. So at that point that I've given them permission, then the Abuja Monitoring Center can see my last 7 to 30 days. Not all my individual, but my severity status over a period. So before I even get there, they will know that if in Abuja everyone is 2 or a large majority is 2, they can say, I'm safe to go there, or I'm safe to come to your house, because there is a equalizer that has an audit trail. If you look at the implications of that with family members in care homes or distance families, the ability to use the app as a tool for monitoring the health of family members, it is so critical. But look at the mental state. Everyone is talking about the second wave. Let me tell you what the true second wave is. It's not COVID-19, because first wave is variations of the same thing. The real second wave is mental health and well-being.
Right.
Because as human beings.
Sorry, Dion, if I could just chip this in there. Like on the Isle of Man, after the lockdown, the mental health issue, people with mental health issues, all form of it, went up with over 80%. Am I right? Yes. I'm not sure if it was 84 or 87%. And this is what this pandemic is doing to us all, from anxiety to panic to name it, whatever it is. So even if there is not a proper COVID-19 second wave, the mental health issue is there and is rising. And like you and I know, Ife, this is not a subject we discuss enough at all in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so I have follow-up questions to all the things that you've actually spoken about. And I'm just going to quickly ask them. So how do you manage people who lie about how they are feeling? Number one. Number two, what do you mean by monitoring centers? Because you mentioned monitoring centers. So do you mean the NCDC centers, or do you mean that you guys have centers in different countries or different locations, or do you mean the monitoring center on the app? Is that what you mean?
Okay. I think I should take this, Dion. So the thing is, the platform, it's mathematics.
Okay.
The artificial intelligence works with mathematics. So 2 + 2 can only be 4. That is the easiest way to break it down. I could give Dion the chance to do more explanation, technical explanation. But the best way to look at it is, a friend called it garbage in, garbage out, but I still did not agree with him on that. Because if you manipulate your response to the data that you're putting in, the AI is going to come back to you down the line and say, hey, you're not making sense, because 2 + 2 can only be 4. So that's why you can't say it's garbage in, garbage out. It's basically mathematics. So I'll give you an example. The AI now has my data for God knows how long. And then I go into there and I have fever. Then I decide to say, oh, I don't have fever. But then I have cough. But then I have diarrhea. But then I have difficulty in breathing. But then I've lost my sense of taste. And I don't have fever. So what do I have? Because
You're just saying that because when I had COVID, I didn't have cough, but I had diarrhea.
I'm saying, hang on. I'm saying that, like you see on the app when you subscribe, or like Dion said, the questionnaire for COVID-19, all the symptoms that people, based on the researches that's been done, to a certain extent, you have to have a certain number of this, what's it called? Symptoms.
Yeah, combination.
So
it's a combination, and they're giving values to each symptom. So just really to go, so I don't take it, the AI, and that's why it takes technology. You cannot do this on a human basis. You can't have somebody going, it won't work. The AI is pure and simple. Once it's started, it doesn't stop. It doesn't vary. It learns. It learns. So I put it this way. My mother told me long ago, she's 84, but she told me long ago, Dion, if you're going to lie, have a good memory.
And don't lie to your wife.
Have a good memory. Because the difference is the AI has an excellent memory. You cannot turn around and been taking it for 7 days and it's built a pattern. And simply because I want to go see Omolara in Abuja, I have to turn around and try to lie today. Well, that's not 2 + 2 = 4. That's you're trying to force 2 + 2 to equal 3. The AI won't allow it. But remember what I just said? That it's not a track and trace, but what it is a community tool that if I had been speaking with Omolara before I was going to do something, she would also know what my status is. I cannot jump from being COVID-19 stage 3 or whatever, and then tomorrow I'm back to 1.
You know, like I told you, when I went from green to amber, it took 24 hours for me to come back to green, because then I'd had to input my data twice a day. Now I no longer have fever. I no longer have body pain, no more coldish feelings and all of that. So it cannot be manipulated because it's an artificial intelligence, technology, and mathematics.
Okay, another question now. What about people who are asymptomatic? How do you manage that? Because do you really believe that people who don't show any symptoms cannot pass COVID around? Or how would you manage that? Because somebody may not feel anything, and then the person is green because they're not feeling that they have COVID. Do you understand? And they need to go to Abuja, and then they'll pass the plane and everything. People on the plane, you know. So how does the app help with that?
Well, the app, that's a really important question. Someone who's asymptomatic, may in themselves not show signs, but the people connected around them will. So that there is an element in the questionnaire every day that have you been close to somebody? It's not that, because we got to be real clear. This is not a governmental tracking app. That I really have to stress that. But inside of itself, it has the ability to know that if I am asymptomatic, but yet I was around Omolara, and then Omolara is taking a test, and all of a sudden she's developed. What will happen is, if everybody around me is catching it but me, I'm sorry, there's something going on with me. But the app helps that to be defined, so that at least, therefore, someone who's asymptomatic will also have connections. Remember, there is what we call it 6 degrees of separation from everybody on the planet. There are only 6 degrees separation between me and you. You may be a cousin or something down that line. So again, it's going to take technology to even track shifts. So remember, this is about minute shifts in your daily pattern that it picks up. So soon as symptoms change and those connected to me change, the app is able to pick that up through AI.
Fantastic. So on the platform, do you have a space where you can input names of people you've been in contact with if they are on the platform? Because if they are on the platform and they have COVID, so does it maybe increase your own maybe severity to like number 1 or number 2? How does that work? Or am I thinking too far?
First of all, Ife, it's your individual health monitoring service.
Okay, got you.
But in a situation whereby in your household, you're 5 people, inclusive of your staff, your domestic staff, you get to have a dashboard that sends notifications to you that then goes, oh, Musa has gone from green to amber, and amber to orange to red. That's all you get. No one gets to know if Musa has now tested positive, because that is Musa's data. It is his cup of tea. It's not something that we have the right or that we intend to, we can't even share that with us. It is up to Musa to go. All we do is look, all the application does is, look, you need to get tested. All your symptoms, your data is saying you have COVID, you know, or if it's customized for diabetes, for instance, oh, you haven't taken your medication, your sugar level is low, your sugar level is high. That's all the application does. The application does not have or display your status. The only thing it does is, okay, you've gone from green to yellow, yellow to, you know. So if we now, if you are on the platform and I want to come to your house, like Dion said, because of the relationship that we have, I could go, what is your status? And because we are friends, it is then up to you to say, Omolara, please mind your business. I'm not telling you my status. Or, oh, my status is.
Oh, wait, whoa. No, that's not what it's designed. It's designed. Listen, one thing that has happened through this COVID, the world over, is we have all been forced to do something we are not programmed to do. And I have seen around the world most amazing stories of human kindness and support that I've never seen in history ever before. And for me to take that away, that's why I said it's about your personal. In that scenario, if Omolara is my friend and I want to see her, and she was yesterday green too, and overnight, because she caught it 5 days ago and is now manifesting, and next morning I'm going to see her, I'm excited, and I call her, hey girl, how you doing? Omolara has a sense of, I know she is concerned that she may be stigmatized, but we have to get out of that mentality. This is not about stigmatization. This is about us being responsible, not only to ourselves, but to our extended family and friends. So the real answer to that is, hey girl, I'm looking forward to come see you tomorrow. Dion, I just went to Amber. Oh, so here's my response. This is how it should go. Oh, okay, Omolara, thanks for letting me know. Girl, you take care of yourself. What are you doing? You know, do you have support around you? Now I come from, oh, okay, I'm not going to go see you, but how can I support you from where I am?
From here, yes.
That's
what it's designed. It's not a tool to create stigmatization. That is not.
No. But I mean, the point I'm making is the choice for anyone to disclose their status is 100% up to them. So I may not be as human as you are, Dion, and I may decide to keep my status to myself and stay to myself. We don't have the right to display, oh, someone is green, someone, no. Only people that are in your space, like you said earlier, your space could be your office, could be your, you know, and all you get is just a notification of this level at which they are. So we don't share data, no.
So this is something that I think would even be very useful for like offices, you know, because offices are back in full swing. So if you know that you work in an office where, you know, you have a team of, I don't know, more than 2 people, you know, all of you can just download the app and just use it. I'm also going to come to that question. How can we download the app? So is it a web app? Is it available on iOS? Is it available on the Google Store? How does that work? So I'll ask that. But I think it's something, it sounds like a tool that is very useful for people who have to go to work, because not everybody that can actually work from home. I told my team, I'm like, we resumed back in the office last week. I'm like, okay, the lockdown, it's you know, it's wearing off and everything. So we need to get back into full swing. It's crunch time. We need to start working. But I'm also very, very conscious of the fact that they're putting themselves at risk. Not all of them have cars. They're going to be coming to work. They'll go on the bus. You know, they're going to have, you know, meet other people as well. So if they have this application and if they start to feel some type of way, you know, they can easily say, oh, I'm starting to feel some type of way because of my, you know, the thing. Does it also suggest that you?
Yeah, actually, we've been.
So does it suggest? Does it suggest that, oh, you're Amber, so I don't think you should go out today? Does it do that, or it's just you use your common sense? Okay.
Okay. To try to keep it short for me, is it was designed as a communication and distribution tool. You can't turn around and monitor people without creating an advanced information network, a true, honest one. So it has push notification built inside of it. So for instance, when you go to a particular level, green, it will send you information right through the app to let you know where you are and what you should do. So you don't have to call emergency number, because the information you need will be pushed to you based off of your result. So what happens is, when you go from one level to maybe, let's say, amber or yellow, that is saying you've got a combinations of things that's making us think you should be more cautious. And then that information is given to you, that there is a potential you can have a COVID-19 suggestion, stay at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving that. Now, if you connect that to a business, because here's the thing, we didn't build this for, I got to be careful what I say, because one, I don't know who's listening. Two, I don't want my words misinterpreted. But this is designed to keep people safe. And information is power, which is what I said. So a business, like we're having that right now, there is absolute panic in the UK because university students are going back to university. And now there is a massive fear that a second wave is coming because we have to be in close proximity. My suggestion is every single business should subscribe to it for the very reason you just said. It's a COVID-19 risk assessment tool for your business. Remember I said about community? I would do it in my company. I would subscribe. I would make all of my staff subscribe. You establish the base level of your environment that it says that safe in our business environment is 2. Now, anyone who wants to come to our office better be a 2, or basically they can't come in, because basically, you know, then because you have established a safe zone. But the other thing, going back what Omolara said, if I wake up in the morning and I'm one of your staff members, and before I come to work and you make it mandatory that they do this, when I take my test before coming to work, if my system has shifted, you as a manager on the monitoring system for your company,
HR,
if HR, you will get a notification that I went to amber. That's all you will get. You will get notification that I went to amber, and so you know amber means she's staying or he's staying at home.
At home.
So you don't even have to get into communication. You don't have to get into the embarrassment. The app would have already sent notification that the second that you knew that you went from one zone to the next, and the advice is isolate, you as an HR person don't even have to contact that person, because you know they have self-isolated. And you know that the app has monitored them, and you know it's genuine, not made up. That's the
Okay, so that means you have a special sign-on for businesses. So if I as a business owner wanted to like log on and maybe even, how does it work? So the app paid, free one? Yeah.
Because I'm looking at time. So basically how this works is if you're signing up as a company, so you sign up, you do the basic, you make your payment, and you then get an email with a link that you then say you've signed up for 5 people, and you are the admin, you're the HR person who's done the signing on. You get a link which will then be sent out to your staff to do their own subscription, put in their data, be in charge of their data.
Okay.
So the only thing you get after this, it's just notification to say Sade has gone from green to yellow, or she's gone from yellow to orange, or orange to red, and that's it. Sade as a person, as your staff, owns our data. She does a signing on herself. The only reason why it has to go through you is 2 reasons. You're making the payment for your staff, and you're also going to be notified. So Sade's account is linked to ASG. But Sade has all our data and our information in our own wallet.
Okay. Okay, what if you forget to input your information in a day? What happens?
Begin again.
You begin again.
No, never mind me. Dion, please answer this.
No, okay. You begin again. No, Okay,
No.
remember we got technology. All that would happen is the AI will pick up from the time of your last questionnaire to your next. The only difference it makes is if you stop doing it, and let's say you were on my payroll, yeah, and you were, because you've got to be responsible for the community. There is responsibility that falls on every one of us. You can't just blame the app. The app has already got its own audit trail. So it knows that if you haven't signed on since Monday, and then Friday, you're now broken out into all kinds of pains and crawling around the floor like Nebuchadnezzar, what's there is when I get the information as your HR and say, well, wait a minute, what happened? When you go to look into the app will tell you when the last time they logged on and took the questionnaire. There's an audit trail. So if you've got insurance, or if you're part of like the corporate COVID risk assessment, you got a liability that, wait a minute, why did you skip those 3 days? You've got something to answer.
Yeah.
But the AI will just pick up.
But what about people who are signing on themselves, who are not really answering anyone? They're not responsible to anyone. Do you understand? How would they be responsible? I understand that everybody should understand that it is their individual responsibility to at least log on every day to put in their information. But in the case where somebody forgets to impute the information, then, like you said, they'll just start from where they stopped, and hopefully they will not start crawling on the floor when something happens.
No. And see, this is how I answer this question truthfully, Ife. Every single one of us, I make a conscious effort to make sure that the first thing I do in the morning is not to check my email. It depends on what works for you. Some people it's Instagram, some people it's WhatsApp, but for me it's email. So I make it a conscious effort not to be the first thing that I do while I'm getting out of bed. So this is 10 years ago, we were not like this. 15 years ago, we weren't like this, you know? So now we're in the middle of a pandemic, worldwide pandemic. So it's something that it's your self-responsibility. It's either you decide to do it while you are just getting out of bed, or while you're brushing your teeth, or before you get into your car, but you have to do it in the morning and in the night. It is your own personal responsibility for your peace of mind and for your health.
Okay. So I'm hoping that the audience, if you guys have questions, you can just put in the chat box so that we can ask them as well as we go on. I have like 2 more questions, but if you don't get any questions from the audience, I'm sure we'll have questions soon. I'm sure everybody has been paying attention attentively. And I've also asked a lot of questions that I'm sure would have been a lot of minds, because some of the questions I actually prepared to ask, I've actually asked more based on some of the responses that you have given me. So another question I have now is, do you have any partnerships with like hospitals or test centers that can help with testing and proper like health or hospital management of COVID across the world? So let's say the person now gets to red and the person is really, really sick on your platform. I'm not sure if you have the color red. What does the person do next? So do you tell them on the platform that, okay, you're in Abuja, Abuja hospital is beside you, go there because you're sick, or call this isolation center? So, and do you have partnerships with them, or do you just tell them, okay, this is a COVID center, please go? And I'm aware that this application also works for other illnesses, not necessarily just COVID, right? Yes. So please talk to us about your partnerships with like hospitals and stuff that can help if people actually become very, very sick.
Okay, so as we all know, in Lagos State, I'm just going to use Lagos State as a case study. In Lagos State, there are, I think, 10 or 11 certified labs for COVID-19. And we have 3 of them already signed on to our platform. So what the platform does is, there is what you call it now, Dion? There is a box where, say, every morning you see medical centers, health centers. So when you click on medical centers, say you're amber or you're orange, and you want to get tested, and you want to see which lab is closest to you, which hospital. In the whole of Lagos State, there are only 3 accredited hospitals that takes in COVID patients. All COVID patients are expected to go to the isolation center or self-isolate at home. So these hospitals and the accredited labs, you would be able to click on this icon, either medical centers or labs, which would then show you the ones that we already have signed up to our platform. Oh, there is so lab, and this is their address, this is their details. So that way we don't leave you in limbo. It's not like, oh, now I need to get tested. Where do I go? What do I do? So we provide that information at that link for you. And also in regards to the extra, to the other sort of diseases that we call add-ons. Yeah, if you need to add on other illness or diseases that you would like to monitor, all you need to do is just send us an email, and then we take it from there.
I think just to touch it a little bit, it's a platform. It's designed to not only pull information, but push information. The more collaborations that we make, we're on the ground now. We're establishing the base communication. We are here. This is a technology. This is a private enterprise. Yeah. This was not funded by anyone there. This is something that we've done in our collaboration between my company here on the Isle of Man and OOK Group to bring there. Hence why the cost is so low. Because one thing I'm really, really concerned is that people do not see us as opportunists inside of, and that's the risk. And we wanted to show that by the very low price that we put it at. For advanced technology like this, it should be much higher. But we've subsidized that to bring it in because of the humanitarian element. Now, here's the other aspect. So we will be making connections and collaborations to add to the platform, to add further support. It's even gone so far as that if my mother was in a nursing home, my mother can give me permission to access her data as her son, and now I can log on to her dashboard and monitor her and give her support. It's all about providing support. And if you got such a system in place and people are using it, like Omolara said, I wake up in the morning, my first thought is, let me check my status. So, and from that, I can also check status of other people who have given me permission to access their status for support. This is about support, nothing else. So we will be adding these relationships with hospitals, CDC, various other things in a proper, structured way. And this is why it's so important to understand you are in control of your data. Like Omolara said, when I log on, I'll see what is the medical center closest to me. I give them access to my data. I find out where's the nearest testing station. I give them access. Remember, I can also take access away.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Also, you've not told us how we can download this app. So is it a web platform, or is it on iOS, or is it on the Google Store?
Okay, so it's about how you introduce technology and technology take up. So in the first stage of trying to establish it in the marketplace, it's a web app, because you can get to it on anything in that basis, even from your phone. Phase 2 of our rollout in Nigeria is to build an iOS and Play. What is it?
Google Play.
Yeah.
Google Store. Yeah, Google Play Store.
We've already structured. So from the time that Omolara says it's time to develop the web app, I mean the mobile app.
Yeah.
It'll take us 4 weeks, and then that will be available. In access. So we're starting out with a web app. A lot of development hours have gone into the web app, and we want to first establish it that if the take up happens and we can go through this process, then what we are able to then do is roll out the app, mobile app quickly. You might have to excuse me. I got to plug in my power before my laptop goes off. Keep talking.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't worry. I'll cover for you. Yeah.
Okay. I think we're almost at the last question. I think I've asked about if people are lying. Also, does it suggest medicine to take or what they can do? No. Okay, so you need
That's
to
why
speak
we
up.
have the medical centers and the
Fantastic.
labs.
Okay, so people are not going to
All we
misuse
do is, all the
drugs.
platform does is it helps you to monitor your health, your
Okay.
status. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I think we've come to the end of our questions. If you have any last words, you can also talk about it quickly here. And
Yes.
yeah, fantastic.
I have a lot to say to everyone that is on this platform. First of all, I want to thank everyone that is logged on. And I want to beg us, not just because I'm in Nigeria at the moment, but because I love this country and I love all Nigerians.
Mm.
Please, I am begging us, all of us, I'm even guilty sometimes. COVID has not gone. COVID is
Mm,
still out there, especially we Lagosians.
I
People had
swear.
stopped. I was, when I came in a couple of weeks ago, everyone had their face masks on and all of a sudden we're not wearing our face masks anymore. COVID has not gone away. It is still here amongst us.
Mm,
I'm pleading, we need to change our attitude towards COVID-19 restrictions and the new normal. Please wear your face mask. Please subscribe to health monitoring services. Honestly, it gives you rest of mind. And please
mhm.
educate the people around, because I was telling my sister earlier today that I think I've done too much talking for a lifetime since this COVID, this health monitoring. Yeah, you see, Dion is smiling because he can witness to that. Because a lot of people are not, when I say are not educated about it, it doesn't mean they're not educated. But when it comes to COVID-19, they just actually do not understand what it is that they're joking and playing around with. So I'm pleading for the good of all of us. We need to look out for each other, like John said earlier. This has to be a collective effort. Can we
Mm,
please not just get into our comfort zone just because we think that, oh, the lockdown is being eased and all, and just take this issue of COVID seriously? Speaking again as someone who's lost one or two people that are close to me, who as frontliners working in the US, in the UK, and even in Nigeria. So this, I'm pleading basically that we all should not take COVID-19 for granted or live in that illusion, in that bubbles that, oh, it's gone and we're fine.
Yeah, I
mm.
I think
Thank
just
you so much for that.
for my part is, again, um, I've been around the world. I've seen a lot of things, and I use the term when I got on the phone, information is power. Um, there's a lot of disinformation that are causing a lot of people to make the wrong choices. All it takes is once. You might think it might not affect you directly, but indirectly, every single one of us is affected by the fact that we're not taking this serious. If it's not directly health related connections, it's economic. And in a place like Nigeria or in Africa, period, if it gets a grip, you haven't seen nothing yet.
Mm.
If it really takes hold in Africa in the way that it's been feared in so many other countries, you haven't seen nothing yet. Here you have an opportunity to take action. You now have a tool that in other places of the world don't have it. I to date have not seen in any other market anything like the health monitoring service. And as it's my business to know what's going on globally. Africa, Nigeria has an opportunity to set a standard that's not been done. You are the first people to receive our health monitoring service. And,
Mm,
and again, that is purely because of the relationship I have with Omolara. But you are the
mm,
first in it. So it is a massive opportunity to take control yourselves. But please, like Omolara said, take this serious. This is not a joke. This is not a
Mhm.
joke. It is
mhm.
real. I would almost add to your things that you said you should do is wear gloves. Wear
It's too
gloves.
hot.
Yeah, but I'm just
Right. Yeah.
saying.
Thank you so much, Dion. And if I may, do I just put out our details there, how people could reach
Yeah, in the
us?
chat box, and I will also share it within the community as well, and on social media.
Sorry, Dr. Lagbegi, our DSD is on the call. Could you please put out our detail on the chat so everyone could have it, the phone numbers, the social media, and our website, please, Dr.
Yes, so if you guys have more questions, you could just reach out to them. If you wanted to collaborate, it would be fantastic. Like, people don't even understand the kind of opportunities that can even come out of this. So plug in. This is like the first, bringing it to Nigeria. You never know. Yeah. You never know how you can plug in or help, take this vision, globally. So I'm happy to share this information, and we'll also put it up on our YouTube channel, so that other people can also, who missed it, because a lot of people registered. I think there were like 4 people who registered. So I'm sure tomorrow they'll start sending us messages to say they need the replay and stuff like that. So we'll share it and then share it on YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this session. It was amazing. It was also good to learn more about the platform, and I'm happy that I didn't ask all these questions, before I spoke about. I learned about it and I read about it, but I'm happy that all new information and fresh information came on this call so that other people can learn. Sometimes when you know a lot about a particular product, you might miss out some very important information just because you already know the answers in your subconscious. So this was really fantastic to learn more about this product, and I'm super excited that you chose Nigeria to be the first beneficiaries of this.
We know they carry last.
We know they carry last though.
They carry last.
I know we're going to really take advantage of the opportunities, of this opportunity, of this platform. And how much does it cost? I don't think we spoke about that.
Yeah, it's 2,500 Naira monthly. And right now we're running a promo, or if you download for 12 months, you do your 1 year subscription, then you get a 12% discount. Okay. But it's 2,500 Naira monthly charges.
That's fantastic. That's for a year. So
27,000, something like that.
Oh, that's
it should be 30,000, but there's a 12% discount for it.
Okay.
And the idea, we wanted to make it affordable. You got a lot of technology here as in your personal pocket. That's the key. It's not just COVID. You can use it for so many other things as we add modules. So when you look at the costing of your health over a year, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Yeah, We're excited that Agent Time learns from this awesome session. Thank you. Thank you so much, Omolara.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you to everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you all for joining. This was fantastic. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.